Merge fields are great for grabbing people's attention and doing some basic personalization, but let's take things up a notch with conditional display blocks. Now, the idea behind conditional display blocks is that whenever a page knows who a site visitor is, it can show or hide certain blocks based on what you know about that visitor. So you can show different content based on each contact's specific interests. For example, you might show some meatless recipes to vegetarians on your site and protein-packed ones to the meat eaters. Or you could show people who have bought something from you before, a related item or an upsell, while showing a non-buyer an entry-level product. Maybe you show information about a local event to only people in a couple of different states. The possibilities are unlimited here, and this kind of hyper-targeted personalization is actually really easy to set up in Ontraport. I'm going to show you how to do it in 3 steps. First, we'll find your block's display settings. Then we'll decide who gets to see your block. And third, we'll publish and test your page. Let's get started. First, go to your block display settings. Your display settings determine who gets to see a particular block. You'll find the display settings by first clicking on the layout mode on the block you want to work with, then looking at the block settings palette editor on the left here. There are 3 settings. The first is device display, and this lets you choose which devices can view your block. You'll pick between all devices, desktop only, or mobile only. The next is when should this block be displayed. You'll typically use this to show an offer to leads after they've been on your page for a certain amount of time. And the third is display this block to whom, and this is the one we're looking for, because this determines who can actually see a particular block. Now choose who can see your block. Choosing everyone makes this just a normal block that anyone can see. Select anonymous visitors only if you just want to show a block to visitors who are, well, anonymous. Most of the time, this will be people whose contact information you just don't have yet, but sometimes it'll be for people who are already on your list, but they're using a new device or they've changed browsers and/or deleted their cookies. You'll use this setting, for example, when you want to create a lead capture form that only new visitors can see and to hide it from people who are already on your list. Now, let's say you want to offer new leads a free download in exchange for their email address. You'd set up your form block so that it only shows up for anonymous visitors. This will make sure that your lead magnet only brings in fresh leads. Choose identified visitors only if you want only contacts that are already in your account to see your block. This kind of personalization is helpful for making offers that nudge your existing leads towards a sale. So for example, you might give identified contacts a coupon for one of your products or invite them to a webinar. Choosing some identified visitors is where things get real. This setting allows you to use the information in each contact's record to decide if they should see the block. Now you have a ton of opportunities here, so let's check out a few of them. If you have information stored about your contacts' past purchases and want to show them similar products, this is how you'll do that. First, select some identified visitors from the Display This Block to Whom dropdown. Then add a condition. And then has ordered a certain amount of a product. Add a condition like has ordered greater than or equal to 1 of a particular product. This will show your block to anyone who has purchased that product, like my delicious raspberry jam here. Or add the condition is subscribed to a product to show your block to customers who have an active subscription with you. Maybe they belong to my Jam of the Month club or something. Now, you can also create conditions around any custom field you have set up in your account. So, let's say you have a sign-up form asking leads about their favorite outdoor activity. You'd like to give them different choices based on things like hiking, surfing, or kayaking. Based on the interest your contact chooses, you can show them blocks with more information about their favorite activities. Choose Field is this value and pick your custom interest field to create a condition like favorite outdoor activity is equal to hiking. This will show contacts who are interested in hiking more information about their favorite trails or hiking poles that you sell, things like that. We can also use information about your contact's location to show them certain blocks. The field is this value condition on your some identified visitors block display is really powerful. It lets you show or hide content based on the custom and default fields in your account. So, let's say you're running a workshop in multiple locations and you want to make sure your contacts know about the event that's closest to them. You could set up a condition like state is equal to Alabama and share information about your Alabama workshop on that block. Similarly, you could do the same thing but for state is equal to Colorado for your Colorado event. The possibilities here are basically endless, and you'll keep finding more as you dig deeper into the marketing and optimization of your website. Moving on to the next option here, choose all logged in members to make sure that only your website members who are currently logged in can see a particular block. And then, lastly, we have some logged in members, which is like some identified visitors where you can use the contact information to determine who sees the block. Maybe you have an event that only your gold members are invited to. Or maybe you want to show an upsell offer to your silver members. Again, the sky's the limit here. Finally, we have one more option to cover, which is to show your block if your page's URL contains a specific text. Now, this is useful in the example where you're driving traffic to a page from several different ad campaigns, and maybe each campaign is actually testing a different offer. So you could use this feature to show the correct offer for each person. So let's say you're testing offers and you have an offer for a first month free and a different offer for 20% off. And let's say you've set up UTM links for all of your ads and one of them has free month for the campaign variable while the other has 20 off. You want to show the right offer to each visitor. To make this work in Pages, toggle on the Only Show This block if the page URL contains specific text. Then create your condition based on the text in your URL, such as this page's URL contains free month. Then do the same thing in another block for the 20 off UTM variable. And that's all there is to it. For our final step, let's go ahead and publish and test our page. When you set up conditional blocks, test them to make sure your conditions are working just right. Now to test it, you need to publish your page first. Use an Ontraport domain to make your page live while you're testing so none of your actual visitors land on it by accident. Check out the Publishing Your Pages video for more information about this. To test your page, you'll need a test contact that fits your conditions, a test contact that doesn't fit your conditions, a published version of your page, and finally, a form that has your published version of your page set as the thank you page. Since all of your Ontraport forms merge contacts based on their email address, your testing form really only needs an email address field. Enter the email address of a contact who fits your conditions, like a contact who has Colorado selected as their state, onto the form. Now Ontraport thinks that you're that contact, and since that contact fits the condition, you should be able to see your block. Submit your form again using the email address of a contact who doesn't fit your conditions to make sure that your block isn't visible when they see the page. To test display conditions based on your URL's text, all you need to do is publish your page and then go to it using the URL that contains the text you're using on your display condition. Great job. You just learned how to set up some pretty powerful page personalization inside of Ontraport. So start showing visitors more of what matters to them and less of what doesn't. Stay tuned for a few more videos on Pages, and then we're going to get into membership sites.